They say she is a mess. He says she is too much. They say she is too emotional, too unstable, too unfocused, a little off, not together, a whole lot of potential with absolutely no direction. She says, I am a mess. She says, some days I am just enough. She says, if I am too much of everything, then I can never be too little of anything. He says, I'm leaving. Says depression. They say, you need help. Say bipolar. Her mother says, don't forget that your therapist is on speed dial. Says worried. She says, well, you were gone long before you ever got to me. Feels alone. She says, sometimes help sounds like solitary confinement. Feels like no one is listening. She says, my therapist wants to know where you are. They say, her apartment is a wreck. He says, you look like a candle giving up. Her friends say disorder, say emotional, say behavioral. She says, why make up with the bed when it speaks to you like a suicide note? She says, when you're burning yourself from both ends, giving up can be the best way to save yourself. She says, I have to fight every day when no one else will, and repeats, I am not crazy, I am not crazy, I am not crazy. Her heart says, I'm tired. Her hands say, please forgive me. Her elbows say, love me more. Her knees say, I'm sorry I couldn't hold you. Her mind says chaos, says rebellion, says overwhelmed, disarray, says nothing's in its place, says really, really bad, feels really, really good, says I don't know, says disorder. Her body says, where are my pills? Her mouth says, where is my gun? Her eyes say, where are my books? Her feet say, where did the floor go? She says, sit still. This will pass. She says, the pills make us numb. She says, I traded in the gun at a pawn shop for another day of breath. She says, read Psalms, then Morrison, then Octavia, then Kincaid, then Psalms again. She says, I will give you back the floor when you are ready to love it stable. When you stop dissing the order a mind has when it is creating, when they stop having anything to say, when he starts staying, when they start believing in faith the way they preach it, when they stop telling me what is possible, when they stop judging me long enough to shut up and know that I am not a walking disorder, a lost cause, or a stop sign, that maybe I am a volume knob with the bass turned all the way up and I can feel every vibration, that maybe my apartment is a wreck because I am more interested in organizing the people on my block than my dirty laundry. The words, I can't, only exist to people who are all taking the same road. She says, my road is more like a waterfall, more drop, more fall, more rushing, more I ain't settling down to the end of this, more heart, more beautiful to watch, more than a river can handle, more out of nowhere. She says, everybody is not meant to jump if they don't know the distance will kill them. She says, I am. She says, I was. She said, I always. She says, believe and art and found. She says, order and you'll see. And yes, she says, love. She says, love. She says, love. She says, love is sometimes enough to get you out of disorder. She says, enough is cancer holding onto your lungs like a roller coaster and you still dancing for the thrill. She says, enough is him taking everything and you still finding more. She says, enough is, yeah, I'm crazy. She says, enough is, yeah, I'm an artist. She says, enough is shouting and you fucking love it. She says, enough is knowing that you were never supposed to fall in line, never blend in. You are not a line segment, a point A to point B. You are a point U to point R, completely out of order and hard to follow. They will say, she is brilliant. He will say, I still love her. She will say, Knew going I where was always, but I always knew where I was going.